I also
letters,
tried
basically.
110 and 119, which are like the Japanese emergency numbers. Those didn't work. I also tried, I tried 444.
Uh,
Right?
I mean,
Tried
I like the way you think with that, but no.
I guess a 6 could be a G. A G. How would I make an H? Would be R G? No. It's probably more straightforward than I'm thinking.
Yeah, the problem is that my brain tends to like really over-engineer problems as opposed to it being like something way simpler than it is.
Worst case scenario, I have you look the answer up and give me other clues. But right now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what else I can
I'm
possibly
just like,
find to.
I've just jumped in, so it's like I don't have the context of progress up to this point.
There's frankly as much as I've given you as much as context I can possibly give. Anything
Okay,
else would be something
so
else.
there are a couple ways to approach this puzzle. So one of them is that the code is a gestalt of other codes that we've acquired. Two is that there is some added context of like hints that you've picked up through other like characters and stuff that have mentioned Suga. Three is like environmental storytelling. Like there's been some telltale, like little subtle things here and there that kind of hint to what Suga is going through. In which case, then you can apply it to a code.
Where did I
That's usually these kinds of things.
Where did I find that clue actually? Yeah, it was just a little fox origami. So it doesn't really help me in any way. Because it would have just been sitting somewhere and it wouldn't there have been any obvious other tells. Why would the numbers be a cry for help?
Because I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Like the game is literally like it looks like a cry for help, and I'm like, I need to think really creative here.
I think I've tried that.
You tried die?
Yes. Was it 7? I think it was 7.
4D?
Yeah, Yoshida. 7.
Yoshida 7. So yeah, because we should have like die, like all three letters. Yeah, 713 would be die, right?
Yeah.
713. So no, it's not die. You know what? I'm gonna search up suicide hotline. I'm wondering if it has the numbers in it. It sounds ridiculous, but part of me is like, Let me see. Suicide.
Well, what you need like the 60s Japanese hotline.
Oh. Yeah, because we have 988, which is probably not going to be
988.
important. That's like
No.
no. Yeah, that's the hotline. Actually, let's see. Japan? Let's see. What is the suicide hotline for Japan?
I guess it could also be the modern one, just because it's a puzzle for a video game. It doesn't really matter in the end.
I like how it's like, searching for one near you. Well, I'm not anywhere near Japan, so I think that's a bit of a moot point, but, you know, I don't think that's going to help me very much. It makes me, like, intently curious what it could be, then, that they're, like...
It's going to suck if we randomly get it, and we were like, what does that mean?
Yeah, we're just like, alright, we solved it, but now what? It's like...
I feel like by this point, I would be surprised if we find it out and go, oh, okay. I'm more thinking it's going to either be a reference to something we really don't understand, or a really, really stretched, like, number pun, which we look at and go, I guess, but I don't see it. But yeah, the R is a root, so it's not going to work. I was hoping, like,
root symbol.
I was hoping to do R07, which is the name of the author. I thought it might be a cheeky sort of like cry to God, as in the author. But no, not quite that.
Oh,
not quite that on the nose. Sadly.
Yeah. They're probably going for something much more, like, subtle here.
Eventually.
How about it? Would you like to look up the answer and try and help me, or
Okay.
don't tell me the answer unless it's something you don't get.
All right. Let me just take a look here.
Look it up, and if it's something like, if it gives like a explanation for it, maybe you could like help me work it out.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
let me just see. Okay, so oh my goodness. That actually makes way too much sense. Wow,
I
that
know.
is a stupid answer.
I
Oh no, it's so
know.
obvious now.
I know.
Okay,
I
this is
know.
gonna upset you because I'm already like I knew it was gonna be something so stupid. I
So
can't
give
believe we
me
didn't
a
think of it.
hint.
All right, so here's your hint. What is a common word or like basically what is a common meaning for distress? Like people often use to communicate distress. And there you go. That is your hint.
Main meaning for distress.
Yeah, like
We'll
if you're
cry.
like in. All right, like I'll try not to like be too obvious, but it's like you know when like people are in like disaster or like certain kinds of like situations where they have like they basically are in an emergency situation. There you go. That. What do people usually communicate when they're in trouble in emergency situations? There you go. And that's your hint.
Distress, panic, cry.
And I'll only tell you if you absolutely give up, but that's your hint.
What does you see it again? They communicate. What they communicate?
So
And
it's a common phrase for basically communicating that someone is in an emergency situation and they are in distress and are calling out for help. There you go. That's your hint.
fuck off.
Yep, you see what I mean? You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I was like, wow, I can't believe it was so stupid like that.
It was
I
so
know.
straightforward. Why did I
Right?
not think of that?
I didn't think of it either because I was thinking of something way more like arcane and esoteric. And it was like,
yeah, I was thinking of something a little more.
you see what I mean?
Something a student would do or say.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like a student situation, like as like suicide or depression or crying because they're bullied and stuff. Not. It's a bit more esoteric in a way, but it's also pretty straightforward.
It is. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
like it's weirdly. I know. When I saw, I thought like, that actually is upsetting. I can't believe that. That's why you now it makes sense why I responded the way I did, doesn't it? It's like no, it was really that. It's like you can't. No, that's not cool. Yeah. In fairness, though, like the game is pushing us in a pretty particular direction, which is lots of references to like Japanese culture and stuff. So I was like, I see. It's a very specific Japanese reference, and it was like, no, it's just a general reference.